If you took Overwatch and combined it with sci-fi-like elements, you get Paladins, a game that I know nothing about. However, from what I've heard from Paladin fans, the game was and still is beloved by many players. Before Paladin's Steam release in 2016, the game had a peak around 42,000 players, according to SteamDB. Their peak was rivaling similar games like Overwatch, and was said to be such a fun game to play. Now, in 2026, I still see a good amount of people interact with the game. People are still making YouTube videos about Paladins, and their videos are getting an average around 2k to 200k views, proving that the game is still loved by many people. But looking at how many players are actually playing the game, that 42,000 players have dropped to an average of 1,200 players. So it made me wonder, what happened? What made the game not so popular as it used to be? Why are there so many people who love the game but don't actually play the game anymore? And is Paladin still enjoyable to play today? In this video, I will be covering what happened to Paladins and what the game is like in 2026. Hello everyone, my name is T-Bandit. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing and liking the channel. I'm trying to reach 2k subscribers by the end of the year, so achieving this goal would be a dream come true. Without further ado, please enjoy the rest of the video.
Damn it! Come here, sissy!
Now, let's go back to the basics. As most of you know, Paladins, currently owned by Evo Mojo Games, is a fantasy team-based shooter, similar to Overwatch. Paladins has a large roster of champions from sharpshooting mercenaries, magic-wielding scholars, supernatural entities, and many more unique characters. These characters are divided into classes such as DPS, flanks, frontlines, and supports. So basically, this was one of the competitors to similar games such as Overwatch and Team Fortress 2. Paladins was available on Xbox, PlayStation, and Windows for completely free. The game had many phases of development. In 2015, they turned into closed beta. In 2016, they turned into open beta. In 2018, they went out of beta. And in 2020, they released Paladins for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5. Okay, so now that we got all that out of the way, let's go over what happened to Paladins. What drove players away? What was the reason for players for not playing the game anymore but still interacting with the community? Just a disclaimer, this is not in any particular order. I'm just listing information based off of what I've been told and what these people gave me. This is probably only surface level information on what happened to Paladins. There's already a ton of videos that cover that, so please, if you're interested, go watch those videos if you want an in-depth version on what happened. Apparently, Paladin went through a good amount of controversies. I wanted to try to get as much information as I could without relying on the wiki. So, I had to sell my soul again and use Reddit. Of course, this video wouldn't be possible without the people who've responded to my question, so shoutouts to them. What I've been told, hi-rez Studio, the studio owners of Paladins, left the game very buggy and passed it off to a group of developers called Evo Mojo Games. These developers were able to drop updates very fast and made up to 4 characters a year. This is actually very impressive on Evo Mojo Games' part. If you really think about it, there were probably like 5 people on the dev team, and they had to work with whatever hi-rez left them with. According to the Reddit user Mayako Ray, when Paladin was going through their beta 64, hi-rez tried to implement an insane amount of pay-to-win systems. By how? Exactly? With loot boxes. Of course, due to people not wanting any of this, they quit during that time. A good amount of people left because of hi-rez's lack of effort to fix the game. Like I've said before, there was a lot of bugs and balances issues. According to the Reddit user Zul3RO, some of these bugs were so bad to the point where the game would prevent players from playing the game. a lobby bug back in 2020 to 2021 where after you pick your champion, your match wouldn't load. If you would to reset the game, you wouldn't be able to enter that match. On top of the already long match queues, you have to wait an extra 30 minutes to get into a match. A player found out how to fix this issue by going into the files and deleting a certain folder in Paladins. Of course, there is literally no need to do this at all for any game. Eventually, hi-rez fixed it. There's also a horse bug where you had super speed and had no cooldowns. Only problem was you couldn't get off your horse. There was also a group bug where players wouldn't be able to invite their friend to their group. There was an easy fix to this, however, it was very annoying and tedious, and nobody wanted to do that. There was also a bug where you just straight up were not able to choose a champion or click enter into the queue if you were playing ranked. The ranked matches don't have an auto select on champions, so the match would just cancel and you'll have to take a penalty for that. Of course, the bugs aren't just the only reason why players don't play the game anymore. There are some other things that just made the game unfun. Because Paladin was running through Unreal Engine 3, by the way, in comparison, we are running Unreal Engine 5, the anti-cheat stopped supporting Unreal Engine 3. So, there was a good amount of cheaters with infinite ammo, max speed, and aimbot going around in matches. There's also hackers who would DDoS the match IP and cancel the match. Ranked became unplayable, and casual became a gamble on whether you'll get a good game or not. So to basically sum up everything, it's all hi-rez's fault. Their lack of effort to fix the game was terrible, and it made the game unfun or unplayable. There was a ton of bugs that would drive away the player from playing Paladins and move to other games such as Overwatch. With the lack of developers on the team for Paladins, Evo Mojo Games can only do so much to fix the game. Nobody wanted to wait around for the game to be fixed, so they left. However, this doesn't make the game boring. Of course, there are people who still love the game. Bugs and differences aside, the game is really fun to play. The characters seem unique, and the game modes are fun as well.
But T. Brandith? You told us that you never played Paladins. You said that at the start of the video. How do you know it's fun as you claim?
Because, for the sake of the research, I played Paladins as a fresh new player to see what the state of the game is in the modern day. Wait. Did you think this background footage was my first playthrough? No. This was my first playthrough. Going into this, I was expecting the game to be unplayable, buggy, and having a long queuing time. Why is the screen resolution like that? But I actually had a smooth playthrough. Starting out, I had to change my video settings so the tutorial lady kept on saying, you can move forward and backwards based on the direction you look at.
You can move forwards and backwards based on the direction you're looking.
Let's not.
You can move forwards and backwards based on the direction you're looking. You can move forwards and backwards based on the direction you're looking.
Shut up.
You can move forwards and backwards.
It was quite annoying. Anyways, I proceeded through the tutorial and found out there was horses in the game. I'm on a horse? After the tutorial, the game was set at a very low resolution. Who's this chud? Changing the resolution from high to max was like having a stomachache and releasing a fart to ease the pain. The difference was insane. Why the fuck did I even say that? What am I doing? Like, come on. Getting into a match, I kinda just clicked on every game mode and joined the queue. Like I said, I expected the queue time to be very long, but surprisingly, I got into a game pretty quickly. It only took me around 22 seconds to get me into a game, which was really surprising. Good job, Paladin. Of course, I didn't see the game was wave defense, so the whole time, I thought I was versing real people. Ooh, get the fuck out. So I thought I was so good at the game and I'm getting so many kills, but little did I know I'm a chud and an idiot and I'm playing against CPUs. Are these bots? Wait, these might be bots. Either that or they're like really bad. Wait. Cultists? Wait. Where's the other team? After realizing they aren't real people, we're playing against bots? I started to wonder if I'm actually good at the game because my chud ass can't actually recognize if they are a CPU or not. Playing against bots? My team and I kept on playing until they started spawning in even more harder enemies. Oh shit! And we ended up losing. Defeat? Yeah, I'm not doing that again. I switched game modes to the newcomers quick play game mode so I could actually get real players to verse in. Surprisingly, once again, it only took around 20 to 30 seconds to get into a game. I don't know if it was a good day to play Paladins that day of recording, or I'm just that goated. Once again, I played the Tiger again so I could actually see how he does against real players. And I was introduced to the loadouts and the item shop. Of course, knowing nothing about the game, I have no idea what I'm looking at. The first time I got eliminated, I got greeted by this half-naked man. Who the fuck is that? I have no idea what he's doing here, or how he got there. Who's that? Get him off my screen. Playing against actual people instead of CPUs made me realize how chopped and washed I am. But low-key, it was probably because I was playing the Tiger. Okay. I kept on dying many times and we ended up losing the round. Okay, third time's the charm. Next match took more than 3 minutes to get into one. Eventually I got into a payload map. I wanted to switch champions because clearly it's the Tiger's fault for not being better at the game, so I wanted to try out the turtle tank guy. Of course, there was a person who already picked the turtle, man, no. So I picked someone else. I picked this other DPS named Koga. He was kicking my ass the last game, so I wanted to see how broken he was. But low-key, he kind of looks like Genji from Overwatch. This guy is the most nonchalant character I've ever seen. He literally thinks that he's that shit while riding the horse. Despite Mr. Ore Farmer dude over here, we got spawn camped and we lost. Never fucking mind, like... And my team couldn't make the push to get out the door. Remember gamers, always blame your teammates and not yourself. If it's not the third time, then the fourth time's the charm. The next and final match was a team deathmatch. And I finally got to play the Teenage Mutant Turtle dude. But instead of swords and ninja stuff, he had a cannon. The match went by like a blur. And honestly, I don't really know what happened. Nevertheless, we were finally victorious at losing, because damn, that was like a 3-loss streak in a row. It was my first time playing. Am I that bad? Yes, T-Banner, you are. My first time playing, besides losing all the games, was a pretty decent experience. I can't imagine what competitive is like, but I can imagine it being terrible. Despite all that, I had fun playing Paladins. I could definitely see many people loving this game and growing up with it since the beta. Unfortunately, I don't really see Paladins making a comeback in 2026. Well, I think it is possible if... Wait, guys. In the middle of recording this, I found out that hi-rez laid off the entire dev team for Paladins to focus on a different game. The last update was in 2025. Oh my god. Okay, well, change of plans. Now I don't see the game making a comeback in 2026. Hi-rez could make a Paladins 2, however, there is a lot of flaws with that. Depending on if they actually engage with the game and making it better instead of making it pay to win, but only a good amount of game developers do that, so the likely chances of them making the game better if they make a Paladins 2 is very slim to none. Especially since hi-rez didn't gaff about Paladins anymore and left it to Evo Mojo Games. If they do make a Paladins 2, I would absolutely love playing and trying out the game. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening anytime soon. But for now, that is all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please consider subscribing and liking the channel if you'd like to see more of this kind of content. Since you made it this far, please comment down which game I should do next. But that is all I have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.